Good morning, everybody. Dave Schultz, Locked On Sun Belt, Sunday morning recap. Could be. It's just coffee, I swear. Nice and hot as things have turned cold here in the Midwest. More on that in a second. So it will be the JMU Dukes, big win over Coastal Carolina. They cover that big spread on the road, 59-10. And Troy beats a Southern Miss 28-18. So it's going to be JMU hosting Troy. If you haven't looked ahead, I did. It's going to be cold. It's Friday night in Harrisonburg. High of 31, low of 27, and there's going to be a little bit of snow. They say the accumulation is not going to be much more than an inch, even if that, but I'm going to figure about an inch, maybe all fans from Troy can handle. So dress warm and drive safe heading up to Harrisonburg. All right. Meanwhile, Southern Miss, certainly a disappointing finish. They went from 7 wins. They went from 1 win to 7 wins. The problem was they had 7 wins 3 games ago and lost and didn't necessarily play very well. They held their own against Troy, that's for sure. They needed one stop, couldn't get it, as Troy hits a 75-yard touchdown to put that ball game away. The big news for the rest of the day, well, let me get back to that in a second. May have missed a lead yesterday. Walker Howard played quarterback for the Raging Cajuns and led them to actually a come-from-ahead victory, as it turns out. Not too many quarterback controversies in November and December, but the Cajuns may have one on their hands. And we'll get into more of this, some interesting coaching decisions. Not sure if people understood the rules yesterday. First and goal from the 5, the Cajuns are running 3 plays before kicking a game-winning field goal. That made no sense to me whatsoever. Nonetheless, we'll talk about that. Along with the Cajuns, Texas State, you don't see this very often, lose 5 in a row, win 3 in a row to go bowling. Georgia Southern goes on the road to win, and Arkansas State goes on the road to win, as all 4 of those teams will go bowling. That's 9 bowl teams for the Sun Belt. That's pretty impressive. Big news of the day, we're waiting for the coaches, okay? And so word is that JMU's Bob Chesney heading west, which is an interesting fit, going to UCLA. Former Troy coach John Sumrall heading to Florida, and, of course, Lane Kiffin heading to LSU, okay? So we'll see how that plays out. Now the threats are coming that Lane Kiffin, word is he's threatening Ole Miss that he's going to take the players and coaches before the playoffs. I mean, it is getting messy and ugly in Oxford. That is for sure. I did go back and check when Napier accepted the job for Florida, or at least when it was announced, and that was basically 4 years ago today, the Sunday after the regular season, and he was allowed to coach in the Sun Belt Championship game, which they did win, by the way. And so it'll be interesting to see. North Texas is keeping their coach, although he's moving on to Oklahoma State, Eric Morris. We'll see what Sumrall does, and we'll see what Lane Kiffin does. We should get that announcement somewhere around 10 a.m., just after 10 a.m. Eastern time. All right, so once again, we'll have a full recap, and I'm sure there'll be a bunch of news by the time we get to Monday's